morning, everyone. Good morning. There you go. I want to welcome everybody here to our very first Operation Thank event of 2019. I want to thank you all for being with us today. Boston is a resilient city, and we always get involved and show up for one another. To many of us, this is an act of kindness that we're doing today, but there is great power in the effort. One door knock, one handshake, one point of contact is all it takes to change the life of a veteran and their family. Your involvement today will have a lasting effect for many years to come. The Mayor's Office of Veteran Services has always been a place for veterans to receive the benefits and service that our veterans are entitled to. But when we, as a community, reach out to our veterans, it is a service that goes above and beyond. It's a service that can't be seen on paper, but only felt from one person to another. It is because of the power of your volunteerism we are on our way to ensure all our veterans in the city of Boston are taken care of. At this point, I want to call up my commissioner, Giselle, as a microphone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Again, my name is Giselle Sterling, and yesterday was my last day as Commissioner for Veterans Services. After 7 years in the office, 7 wonderful years in the office, and I thank the staff for, being there every day and all the hard work that we've done. And it's been amazing to see this program grow the way that it has. You said 2019, we started in 2015, so this has been going strong for that long. Every month, between March and November, we're out here knocking on our veterans' door, making sure that they're engaged, connected, and getting the services that they need. And I know Rob mentioned this before, you're not gonna see every single veteran on that list, but that note goes a long way. We get phone calls afterwards that say, sorry we missed you for coming to but the fact that you came to the door and there's a presence out there was important to me. I wanted to make sure that I reached out and expressed that too. So even the people that you're not seeing, they know that our presence is here. We can't help some of the decisions that go behind, having I'm getting a little sentimental, but this is, I'm here. When our men and women are sent out to serve, there's not a lot of decision making, or what I'm trying to say, there's not a ton that we can do behind that decision. But when they come home, this is what we can do for them. We can make sure that when they come home, they're getting a good welcome home. They're getting that knock on the door. They're coming back and they're getting a good reintegration to a society and a community that cares for them. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing today. My story my fundamental story is rooted in Vietnam. My father's a Vietnam veteran, and he didn't get this kind of welcome when he came home. Fast forward, and I go into the Marine Corps. I had my transition story just like many of the veterans in this room. But I was really lucky enough to start getting involved in helping our veterans and our military families. And that help, didn't do it on my own, had my great staff, but also had a man who knows the value in our veterans and our military families. He saw something in me as a community relations specialist, and when the opportunity came to become commissioner, he said, "Would you like the job?" I said, "Yes." Still working for him today. But so happy and honored to have had the privilege to work not just for the city of Boston, but for the man who has made the city so great and continues to make it great. Please help me in welcoming our mayor of the city of Boston,
I'll then talk about Giselle in a second. I want to thank you, Rob, and the office who do great work. It's just amazing the work that you guys do every day. It's one of the offices, Veteran Services is an office in the city of Boston that I never have to call. They just do their job. They do it the way it's supposed to be done. I don't hear complaints from veterans about our office not advocating on their behalf. You know, it's not like some of the other departments we have in the city. I hear nothing but praise and stories about how somebody was in a tough situation, whatever that situation is, whether it's housing or addiction or finding a job or trying to kind of reacclimate themselves to being home, and the office connects them to services or provides their own services. So I want to thank everyone. We want to thank everyone in the Veterans Office. Thank you very much for your great work. Giselle's last day, the commissioner's last day, officially was yesterday, and when she came into me, probably about a month ago, I had heard a rumor that she might be thinking of leaving. When she came into me, I said, "Don't rush." But we talked about the job. We talked about what's next in her life and what she wants to do, and I certainly encourage her to do whatever she wants to do. Do your dream. I think too many people today, they're in a job and they do a job and they think that that's the right thing to do for the rest of their life, when in fact you want to do something else. And I encourage her and I support her to try whatever she wants. She's been an amazing commissioner, but think about her career. She talked a little bit about her family. She is a proud Marine Corps vet. She has come in, when she came to the city of Boston 7 years ago, worked in the office, and it was a natural progression to ask her to be the first woman to run the Office of Veteran Services in the city of Boston. That's important. The first Latina to run the Office of Veteran Services. That's important. But she didn't get the job because she's a woman, and she didn't get the job because she's Latina. She got the job because she's the right person for the job. And to have all of that, I mean, it's easy, it's great to say that we're able to break some barriers here and break some glass ceilings, as they say, but it's also understanding, having somebody in the job that understands the job. This program that the commissioner started is an amazing program. You've thanked over 3,000 people. You've thanked them for their service to our country, from World War II to Korean to Vietnam to Afghanistan to Iraq to other situations that our military have been put in. I want to thank the volunteers here too, because Giselle set the bar high, and every time I come to one of these events, it amazes me that there's so many volunteers. Every time I come to an event, it seems like there's more and more volunteers. Some similar faces, and some new faces. And I know not everyone in this room is a veteran. And I appreciate the fact that you understand and recognize the importance of thanking our veterans. I do want to thank our veterans. I should have started with that. All of our veterans that are here, if you could just raise your hand and stand up, we just want to say thank you for your service. You know, I thought about after Giselle left my office the day when she said she was leaving, you know, as time went on, a couple weeks went by, you start thinking about what was the mark that she left in this office. As I said to you, first woman, first Latina, that's a big mark. But I think the biggest mark she's going to leave in this office is the folks that are going to gather in a room once every 2 or 3 times a year. They're going to put on a shirt. They're going to go out and represent the Veterans Commission in the city of Boston. They're going to knock on a door. They're going to get somebody on the other side of that door. We have no idea what the situation of that person's life is going to be. And we're going to thank them for their service. We're going to listen to their stories. We're going to listen to what they have to say. And because of the Commissioner's leadership, this program will be able to allow us to go out and thank veterans from here till eternity, if you will, because this program won't leave the city of Boston. So, Commissioner, this is your lasting mark. Your lasting mark is when you went and fought for this country. You probably didn't think someday you'd be creating a program that would be thanking the same people that stood beside you and with you. So congratulations on that. That's an incredible. work that we're doing today is really, the work you're doing today is really important, and I want to thank you for that. Thanking our veterans. Without our veterans in this country, we don't have anything. And I think a lot of people don't recognize that, don't remember that. You know, whether it was our veterans in the Revolutionary War, whether it was our veterans in the Civil War, whether it was our veterans in the World War I, World War II, Korea, and all the way to the present day. Those are the folks that put their life on the line for us to allow us to have the opportunity, the freedoms that we have today. And we're going to continue to make sure that we remember them and thank them, and we're going to memorialize them as well, those that have lost. Hero Squares, another thing that came out of Commissioner Sterling's leadership is upgrading our Hero Squares. Hero Squares are the squares that are on the corner of your street, and there's a name on the top of that street, and oftentimes you kind of know there's a name there, but you don't know any history behind that name. You have no idea who that person is and what that person did. And what we're doing is we're beginning to change that, where we're going to have on the bottom of the pole, towards the middle of the pole, a brief write-up, a description of what that person did, who that person was, because that person lived in your street. That person was like us. They grew up in our neighborhoods, they hung in the corner, they hung at the park, they played whatever they played, and they went off to war and they fought for their country and they didn't come back. And that's what we're going to be doing, recognizing those folks. I want to thank the Commissioner as well for that idea, because that's an incredible idea. I have to address, we're honoring our veterans today. This week, people vandalized our memorials. It's shameful. It's not what our city stands for. And seeing the outpouring of support and the respect of the men and women whose names are on those memorials was amazing to see. It was a horrible situation, and I feel I'm not happy about it. And I said to the press, I can't say how I really feel, but to see how the people came around in down Castle Island and in our own Mount Hope and other places, people came out in droves and dropped flowers off. How can I help? How can I clean? I must have received 1,000 phone calls on how to get oil off a memorial this week from people. And I want to thank them. I want to thank City Councilor Eddie Flynn. He was one of the first ones to go to Castle Island, to the World War II Memorial. And I want to thank you, Councilor, for your support and what you do for the veterans. And again, to the whole community, we're going to continue to respect. The people in our armed services and our police officers who have lost their line in the line of duty, or any public servant, or anybody for that matter. My message is clear today. Thank you. You're thanking somebody. I want to thank you. Some of the best conversations I've had as a mayor of Boston is talking to our veterans. Two particularly stand out, and I'm not going to get into them today, but one was a gentleman who lived right near here in Mission Hill, who was a World War II vet, and he was a left-handed pitcher, and he probably came, you know, a couple draft picks away from being known as Jackie Robinson before Jackie Robinson. And he was bragging about how he struck Jackie Robinson out, and then he brought this newspaper out from when he was pitching and showed me that he struck Jackie Robinson out, so it's true. And the other was a World War II vet who was in Pearl Harbor, and he was very proud of his service in Pearl Harbor. So thank you, all of you today, for doing what you do. Thank you for being part of the veterans community today, especially the non-vets. I mean, I know a lot of us, I wasn't in the service, and you know, sometimes you have a little guilt of that. And when I was growing up in our era, a lot of us didn't go into service. It was a very peaceful time for the most part. But the fact that we can do our little bit by putting our hand out and thanking somebody for their service, it never gets old for the veteran. It never gets old for the veteran. That is probably one of the biggest parts of their life. So I want to thank you all for being here today. And I think that I want to thank Commissioner Sterling for her incredible work as part of the veterans community here in the city of Boston, running our veterans office, doing an amazing job. I want to thank your team for all being here today, and thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh, and we're going to make sure that you don't call our office at 43 Hawkins. We'll try to keep it that way. Another thank you that I want to thank Urban Edge for providing us this space again this year for Operation Thank You. And I want to call up Robert Torres, who's the Director of Community Engagement here at Urban Edge. Right.
Hey, thank you everyone for being here. I just want to take a minute to welcome everyone to this space. We are very proud of this community room here. We have 37 units of affordable housing above us. Urban Edge has about 1,300 units of affordable housing in Jamaica Plain, Roxbury, and Dorchester. We are at the intersection of Jamaica Plain on one side and Roxbury on the other. We have Liz Malia's district right here, Anika Eleugardo's right there, Matt O'Malley on that side, Kim Janey here. And while some people might think that is division, it really speaks to collaboration and strength in the neighborhood. And recently we saw that strength in December over the holidays at Academy Homes. I want to quickly recognize Jacqueline Blunt, the president of the Academy Homes Task Force, for being here today. Thank you. And to her right, Rhonda Prentice, Academy Homes resident who served in the Army National Guard for 6 years. So thank you for your service. But during the holidays, Academy Homes had a gas crisis where we were without gas for about 5 days. So residents did not have the ability to cook, to take hot showers, or heat their homes. And we saw collaboration from everyone, especially the City of Boston, the Office of Neighborhood Services, and even Councilor Ed Flynn, who does not represent this district, but who was there not once but twice, and one day even on Christmas with toys and with food. So I think this project and Operation Think of It really speaks to that spirit of community and of collaboration. So I just want to welcome you, thank you for being here, and thank you to Deputy Commissioner Santiago, Giselle Sterling for all your work, and the Mayor. Thank you. Welcome.
Again, today's theme is thank you. Thanking our veterans, thanking our volunteers, thanking our mayor who's a great champion of veteran causes. And also thank you to Commissioner Giselle Sterling for all the work that she did in the past 7 years in the Office of Veteran Services. But right now, before everybody takes off, we would like to get one big picture. So if we could all just move on up here and take a picture, that would be fantastic.